Still looking to find that perfect silhouette to fit your decoy spread? Well, we might have another option for you. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Outdoor Gear. Today's video, I can proudly say, is sponsored by Real Geese. If you don't know about Real Geese, they're another innovative company out there making silhouette decoys, and they've been around for a long time and have sold millions of decoys to happy customers. But I'm going to get to put them through the test, and I'm thankful that Real Geese Decoys sent out a few different options for us to look at, and I'm happy to show you what they're made of. So let's get into it. So when you open up your package, which I don't want to put all of them on the table because we got a couple different options here, you'll see a couple different instructions, one of which is a little note thanking their customers, which hopefully there's not too much glare. And if you order, you actually have you have a chance to win if you get a certain kind of sticker, you know, whatever it may be. If you get a certain sticker, you get free shipping on your next order or apparel, or if you get a special sticker, or a platinum sticker, get 40% off on your next time you place an order, and free shipping. So that's pretty cool that they're going to do that for you. So if you're interested, purchase a couple. Maybe you get lucky and you have a chance to get some more later down the road. The other thing you'll get is instructions on how to put your stakes in, which is pretty straightforward and simple, and we'll get into that. Like I said, you get a couple stickers. I got a nice little leather patch, which is pretty cool. Kind of a coaster deal. It says Real Geese Decoys, and I got a sticker, and I've got more stickers, but I haven't looked to see if I won anything, because, hey, if I did win something, maybe I'll share that with one of our folks out there, if I win. So, let's get into our options. They've got lots of different ones. They have blacks and whites, printed ones that have color, all sorts of stuff, but we have three different options here today. The first option here today is the Eclipse Shadow decoy. It is a black and white decoy. It is made out of, looks like 2mm corrugated material. Those were made out of the 4mm material, so they're a little bit thicker. So with this thinner material, you notice that if I bend it, which is bent all the way backwards on itself, it pops right back into place, which is really cool because we notice that 4mm material seem to, when you bend it too far back and forth, it starts to get real floppy. This right here is just, if I bend it right here in the middle, which is where the stakes are, it's got a little bit of a weak point, as you can see, but it still plops back into place. You know, once we get that stake in there, it's going to hold. But if we're looking at the head, which I was looking at before, there we go. Now we got the flop a little bit. Even that, it's bent over, still flops right back into place. So, I think the 2mm is actually going to make it, one, lighter of a material, and two, it's a little bit more durable when it starts to flex. It has a little bit more resistance on it. The other thing is it's made with a non-reflective material paint that is supposed to, of course, not have any glare, not have any reflection off it. It is a black decoy, and if the sun shines down on it, you know, you'd think you would get reflection. However, it's supposed to be non-reflective, kind of textured material. And if you're wondering, why on earth would I want a black and white decoy? Well, when birds are up in that sky and they're looking down on your decoy spread, they don't always see color. So if you have a black decoy with white accents on it, it's going to pop a little bit more than that one that's brown and has color on it. It's just an option to throw into your spread. I know people that have run fully black and white spreads and killed them. And if you think back to your grandparents who had just blocks of wood, it worked. So it's just another good option to have. You have pretty good difference in blacks and white. You know, obviously you've got feathering up here, which on the camera looks really good. So we're going to have something special, and we're actually going to take all these bad boys out there and show you. But coming to different head positions, you know, this is a feeder head position, and you'll see the other ones when we get out there. When you put those in, you've got little spots here that you pop out, like so. And instead of going straight through the corrugated material like you would on the dive bomb or the Big Al, you actually feed it through the decoy, which could be a better option. We'll see once we get to that part. These run for $105 a dozen. Not too bad, a little bit more than our other guys, but again, seems like a little bit better material right off the get-go. And I should say, see how well it scratches. So if you could see on there, it's got some scratch marks, but see if we can get it off with some spit nope, they stay. So, something to keep in mind. They do show a little bit of scratching on them. Things like that. And it doesn't seem to want to come off with a little bit of spit. Will that matter? Probably not. If the geese get close enough to go, hey man, you got a little weird marking on your neck, they should be dead, in my opinion. All right, the next one is the Shadow X. Now, this is a completely different material. It is solid core, so you don't have a corrugated material at all. And this thing, it almost is like HDPE plastic, which is a pretty strong material. You know, you can bend it in half like this, all the way like a taco, and it just pops right back into place. What about the head? We bend that. You know, if it gets stuck up like that, that's bit pretty well. Pop back in. Got a little crook in the neck there, you know. However, this plastic material, bend right back into place. You're good to go. Again, this is made with a non-glare paint on it or coating, and so you shouldn't get the sunlight beaming down on it and creating problems. Again, it's just another way to make the decoy stand out. It's very light. That's one of their big things, is this material is light and, you know, about the same weight between the two. I mean, there's probably microscopic differences that I can't tell, but these are going to be pretty durable. And again, you can flop it around comparative to the other one, which feels like I might break it if I flop it around like that too much. So yeah, this is a pretty cool material. These run a little bit more, they're 125, but the material is more durable. And I don't think you're going to find a way to break this. Now for scratching wise, how's the marking? So again, on the neck there, you can see this one actually looks a heck of a lot better after I put some spit on there. Not really being able to see it again. So, pretty cool. Not anything crazy to it, but another good black and white decoy for you to check out. Finally, we have the Vivid series. Now this is a pretty cool paint job. As you can tell on camera here, that is a big difference. We talked about in the Big Al and the Dive Bomb how the paint coating wasn't quite what I wanted, you know. It didn't quite match up with that tan and brown. This guy here looks really good. I wish this white was a little bit more white, but on camera, that looks awesome. And outside, I'm sure it'll look even better. And again, the black could be a little bit darker in my opinion, but again, the standout between the black to this brown and the feathering, if you can see that, that looks really lifelike, really good. That when birds come in, I think they're going to be pretty fooled comparative to our dive bombs and whatnot. So, again, this is just like the first black and white, the X-Clip Shadow. It's a 2mm corrugated. This one comes in 6 different head positions. I can't remember if the other two come in 6 different head positions, but we'll see out there. I'm pretty sure the black and whites do. Again, made with your non-glare material, and that's pretty much it. Again, with the scratching, but on the neck, comes out all right. Can't really see it, though. Same material as the X-Clip, so we don't have to go through that whole shebang again. But let's get into the stakes. Now, these are massive. If you can see how wide this is. These are wider than the Dive Bomb ones, which were wider than the Big Al's, which were kind of flimsy. And they're thicker than both of them. So if you remember, if you go back and look at our Big Al Dive Bomb video, you could bend them very easily, where these are pretty strong. I can bend it, you know. It'll bend back if I use some effort to get it back in place straight. But, again, this is going to pop back into place. I can bend it out, you know. So it's a little bit more flexible than I wanted it to be. I believe the Dive Bombs were a little bit stronger and were harder to bend out, but they had a shorter space between them. So I kind of like that this is bigger so that I can get my hand in there when I'm pushing down into the dirt. But overall, it's a powder coated material. It shouldn't flake off. You shouldn't have paint flaking off like we noticed in the Big Al's. So biggest thing is if they hold up, which they seem like they should. Let's go ahead and pop one in a decoy here just so you can see. Is we're going to run it through one way like so. Feed it down. And we'll run it through the bottom here. and we'll shove it on through. So there you go. In my opinion, not as pleasant looking as the dive bombs are, where you can't see, you know, these sticking through. I would love for it to be further down, but that's the thing with this 2mm corrugated material. You just can't get it through the top here without making a very thin, fragile stick. So I understand the difference in what they're doing here. And again, if the geese fly close enough and see that there's a stake going through their goosey friend, they should be in killable range. So not a big deal, just a difference. I do think that keeps, you know, if the corrugated material, like we pulled up on the big owls and stuff, if I pull up on these guys here, it's not ripping through because there's so much area between that it's not going to pull out and it's not going to rip through. So, and if I try to spread the legs out, they're a little bit harder now that they're pushed through or through the actual decoy. I think I prefer the thicker material to get that stake through the decoy just because aesthetically it's pleasing to me. Doesn't really matter, probably not. This 2mm material seems stronger, so it's personal preference there. I like that it's a 2mm thinner decoy. It's lighter. I just wish the stake wasn't sticking out that much. Maybe if they added another notch right here, it would be a little bit more aesthetically pleasing, but again, it probably doesn't matter as much as I want it to matter. So keep that in mind. Stronger material, a little less aesthetically pleasing. We'll see what they actually look like when we get out there and put them all together. I'll see you there. Before we get into the spread, I wanted to showcase the difference in the three that we've had before. You know, you've seen the dive bomb and the big owl. So before I show you the real goose, you can see a lot grayer. It almost looks kind of like a black and white. It's not real, doesn't have a lot of pop in the color. It's real black, kind of a grayish color and a white. And then you get to the real goose, which is a step up. You know, I think it's got a prettier feather scheme. The black is not as dark as the dive bomb. And the white pops out. But again, these stakes are real flimsy. These stakes are a little bit better. They kind of compare to the real goose, which I think this pattern on the coloring on it is a lot better. It looks more like a goose, less like a black and white. So I really like the difference in the coloring. If I show you the big owl, again, it pops compared to the big owl and the dive bomb with that tan. I do wish there was a little bit more white here and the black was a little bit blacker to just make that pop, but I think when we get out there and you see the full spread, it's gonna look really good. So let's show you what it's got. All right, we're gonna get all these bad boys put together, put out in a nice little spread, and then take the drone up so you can see what it looks like from the air. So we're out in the middle of the flock now. As you can see, the white pops a little bit more, the black and whites pop a little bit more, the color pops pretty well, but what does it look like from the air? That's where we step in here. As you can see looking down on these geese, you can see the difference in the black and whites and kind of how the color pops, but the black and white stand out. And as we go up higher, obviously silhouettes, they disappear. But as you look at them from an angle, you start to see the different colors. If we zoom in a little bit, black and whites seem to stand out a lot more than the colored ones do. And that makes it a little bit easier for the birds to see, especially when the sun is in their eyes. They can see, you know, when they're coming across the field, they can see those ones moving a little bit better when they start shifting. If you know anything about silhouettes, when they see them, you know, it looks like the birds are shifting if you've got them positioned correctly. So from far away, again, those blacks stick out a lot more than the colored ones do. And as they come across, if the birds are flying in, it looks like those birds could be walking around and moving. Those black ones are going to shift better than the other ones will, the colored ones will. And then when you look down, you can see the black a lot better than you can see those tan from the straight overhead. And then as those geese are coming into land, just to get a little visualization coming through the decoys. Again, I like the way those colors are on the Vivid. You know, those tans look pretty good. They do have a good, you know, white to black to tan ratio. The black and whites just really stick out from a distance, and even up close, I think they look really good. All right, so all in all, I think these look pretty daggone good. They are a little more expensive than your dive bomb or your big owls, but I do like them more. So you get what you pay for with anything in life. You know, you got better stakes on these guys. I think you got a better color scheme on these. Like I said, I do wish the white would pop a little bit more, but you can see from the video, it looks good in and of itself. Then the black and whites, again, these look great as well. These are textured. Some of them seem more textured than others with the cloth on it for your anti-glare and stuff like that. But again, these guys are $81 a dozen. Not too bad, not comparative to the other guys. And then these are a little bit more, $105 for the X clip and then $125 for the Shadow X. So you get what you pay for. If you want durability, I think these are the most durable. They're thinner, they're lighter, and they just seem like they're a little bit better quality in my opinion. So definitely like these a lot more than the other guys, but if you're going budget friendly, you've got other options. If you have a little extra cash in your pocket and you want to get something that might last a little bit longer, check out Real Geese. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you. Appreciate Real Geese for sponsoring this video, and I hope you all have a great day. Like, subscribe, tag, all that stuff. See you later.